Hello, ladies. Just gotta make sure that I have my autofocus off because that gets you crazy, gets me crazy. Okay, looks good. Alrighty. Oh, I'll let everybody slowly get in. I know a lot of people, for me also, when other people go live, it, I don't get a notice till like 15 minutes later. How's everybody doing? Staying cool. Today was a gorgeous day. The day before it was hot and miserable, and I don't think it went over 75 degrees today. So it was wonderful. I haven't looked to see what it is tomorrow, so um, I guess I'll just enjoy today. And because it was supposed to be hot today too, I don't know what happened. So I'm happy about that. And you guys know I have an older dog, right? All right. So my husband, he comes over and he says the dog's name's Junior. My husband comes over and he says, "I lost Junior." And I'm thinking, okay, our yard is completely fenced in. He's an elderly dog, as some of you know. He needs help to even get up. He can barely walk. And my husband has lost him. And I said, "Richard, how can you lose Junior? That's impossible." And he goes, "I can't find him anywhere." I said, "Well, maybe he's in the house and he's just on a different pillow." You know, it's like one of those kinds of things. I don't know if your husband's this way, but the thing that he's looking for in the refrigerator can be on the shelf that's eye level in the front of the shelf and he doesn't see it, that kind of a thing. So I figured maybe it's the same situation with the dog. He's used to seeing him on one pillow, and if he's not on that pillow, maybe he can't see the dog. So I go over and check the house first because that's the easiest thing to look, for the dog. I go over there, no dog. Okay. So obviously he's in the yard somewhere. So I go looking for him, looking. Can't find him anywhere. And I go, okay, this is very strange. And I thought, well, maybe, because we have a little yard there, also fenced in, but it's for him to go if he goes through the garage into a little yard where the other dogs don't go at all. So, well, maybe he went in there and my husband accidentally shut the garage door and he's out in that section of the yard. I go, look, no, he's not there. Now I'm thinking, this guy is not Houdini. Where is the dog? Well, it turns out that I've also told you that it's a little yard between the house and the studio that is a dog-free zone. My husband forgot to close the little gate. Well, he forgot to lock the gate. He said he closed it, but he forgot to lock it. And my old feeble dog opened up the gate with his nose, and he was sitting in the high grass um, in the area that I'm not mowing on purpose. So there's high grass for Mr. Bunny. So there he is over there in the high grass, chomping on the grass like he's Mr. Bunny. It was the craziest thing. So anyway, we found the dog, we rescued the dog, and he's fine. So I don't know if you guys have situations like that where yeah. And that's pretty cool. It's sort of like, there's a mystery. It's got to be a simple solution, but you just can't figure it out. It's sort of like watching those comedy, whodunit show. I used to love to watch Monk solve his crimes. So we had a Monk situation here. Oh my goodness. But all's well. He's fine. He's happy. He got to chew on the grass. Probably scared Mr. Bunny to death. Well, Mr. Bunny was probably in the high grass going, what the heck is this dog doing in here? So, so how many of you got to do your prints already? I know quite a few of you, and we did it to, on live. Quite a few of you were doing it. And then in the group, I saw a few of you do some posts. So, how many actually got your printing done? And did it go well for you? We need to know. Yeah, Linda. Yeah, in this case, my husband wanted the dog to jump out and say, here I am. Oh, good, Linda. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things that's kind of addictive, if you really get into it. And I don't know, I kind of liken it to the instant gratification that you get like when you do the jelly printing. Obviously, it's, costs more than jelly printing, but um, it's still fun and it's kind of addictive that way. So see how long it sparks that interest, because, interests, they come and they go. I enjoy doing it still. I like doing it. Well, a lot of people did their printing. Tammy hasn't done hers yet. Well, maybe Tammy hasn't had good weather yet when she's home. Oh, yeah, CJ, if it's cold and windy, that's not for you. And cold. It's June. Oh my goodness. Well, if you have a window that has, the sun streaming in, it will still work. You can do it inside. Darla, no comment. Oh my gosh. The weather is just crazy. Crazy. Hi, Jennifer. Do you have good weather, Jennifer? She usually has good weather up there where she is. Uh-oh. I'm drinking tea. Oh, okay. Oh, well. Yeah, light, no sun rays. Rain? Oh my gosh. What's going on with you guys? Well, let's see. Where to begin? Where to begin? I'm going to show you how I made this little cover. That's what we're going to do today. And I'll take it apart so you can see what it looks like apart, how I did the binding here. So I just remove the sticks. Oh, I have to untie this here. Just a second. This is just wrapped around one of the little branches. Right. Put that there. And now you can see the branches a little bit better, maybe. Maybe. And so if you take the twigs out, you're going to see what looks like 4 tabs. I'm not sure if you can see that clearly. Oh, you can see the holes right there. All right. And I had poked. Let me open this up a little bit. what I did here on the cover, this is fabric, and what I did is I made a slit and I sewed around that slit just to reinforce the fabric and just pull those through there. And what keeps it in place is whatever you decide to put through the loops. We'll do it a couple of different ways so that it seems, you know, because that way you have various ways of doing it instead of just one choice. But that's basically how this stays in here. Oops, in the cover. That's how the spine works. And I have two signatures, and I sewed the signatures with just a, where's the center? Somewhere. Just a basic stitch. I just put 2 holes because it's not that big, and put that signature and this signature together. And then with some of the fabric, I made a tab. I glued it here and then sewed it, just hand sewed it there to make a smaller loop. And then I just put it in there, and then literally you put that through once you get it through there. So it's not really all that complicated. It just looks a little, you know, different. And what I did here is I just cut a small, let me get a different color so you can see the contrast. We've got white and white, that doesn't help. I cut, it's probably like maybe between an 1/8 and 1/4 inch. But you can do it as thick or as slim as you want it. That was just what I decided to do. And you could also do this with paper, but what I would suggest is, if you don't want the whole thing cloth, I would put right down here, have that be cloth, and that way it won't tear, and you could get the same effect if you had like some kind of paper that you really liked. And that way you could use your paper, but it would be giving you the same strength if you were working with cloth. So that's an option for you to use. So let me look up. I'm trying to be good. Okay, no questions. So again, this is cloth, and what I did to give it some stability, because if you can see, it isn't like super flimsy, but it started off flimsy. It's just a regular, I think it was a napkin, because you can see the scallop there. So I think this was a napkin that I tore apart. And what I did is I happen to have this, it's called super heavy gesso, and it gives a nice texture. Now, if you have, you know, whatever you have, as far as something that's thick, if you have some kind of a texture paste or whatever you might have around, that would work just fine. If you put a coat of that, if you don't have that, even if you put white acrylic paint and put a couple of layers, and that will give it just a little bit of body, because this is still flimsy. You can see how flimsy it is, but it gives it a little bit of body. So what I did earlier today is I took a couple of pieces of other fabric that I had already torn up apart, and I put some of that same gesso on here. Now this really ate it up. I only put 1 coat, but we could, you know, easily put 2 or 3 coats on there if you want it to be just a little bit stiffer. This one also, I think this was a pillowcase that has some embroidery on the end. And so this one also, I just put the gesso on the whole thing, and it gave it a little more body to that one too. And this also is a decorative napkin, and I put a couple of coats the gesso on this too. This napkin was a super, super light blue. You couldn't even tell it was blue until I put the white gesso on it. And so I just left that there exposed like that so you could see the color. See, when you're not on there, you can hardly even see it's blue. So that's how you would start it off. And what I would do first is, depending if you're going to use the fabric that was in the kit or if you were going to use some fabric that you have, you decide the size of what your journal is going to be. And then, of course, obviously, put your signatures together. Now, what I did, because my fabric wasn't already, portioned out for me and torn, I made my signatures first, and then I cut myself a piece of something for it to go with. But if you're going to use the fabric that was in the kit, well, then obviously you have to adjust the size to what your fabric is. Now, most of the fabrics are pretty much the same size because I was trying to mimic the size of the one of the example journal. So yours is at least as big, if not bigger, the piece of fabric. And so that would allow you to make this size of a journal. Now, let me measure what size this actually is. So we all know what we're talking about. Well, the outside of this journal is 7 inches. And then when it's closed, it's 5. So it's a pretty average, the smaller type journal, pretty average size. So if you decide to go that way, then, obviously your pages just be a little bit smaller. Let me see what I ended up doing these pages. These are, yeah, it's about 5 by 6.5. So I just have a little bit hanging over on the top and the bottom. And then depending on where you want to position your little tabs, they don't have to all go through the center. You could have one up, you can have up here and here and have this section closed and just have 2 slots, one on the bottom and one at the top. That's another option. They don't have to be going in here necessarily. They could be going up here and down here. So you see how this one works. So let's do the sample one that we're going to do together. Let's go ahead and do that one with them separated. Okay, just so we can see it 2 different ways. So that's what we'll do tonight. And so if you have any questions before I go any further, I will promise I'm going to be looking up right now and see yep, I love putting gesso on my fabric. And even if it's a print, just like, sometimes you might have a scrapbook paper that's, kind of bright and you want to tone it down. You can do the same thing with your fabric. If you've got a really, you kind of basically like it, but it's just a little too bright for you, just put a coat of gesso on top of that and it'll look really nice. Yes, Jennifer, I would call this like a flow plaster working with the gesso. It gives you that general feel without going through all the work of doing the actual plaster. All right, so I'm going to, let's see, which one should I work on? I kind of like the plain one. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'll incorporate some of these into the book. Maybe that's what I'll do. Let's see. Maybe I'll make a big one. Not sure. And go ahead and if you have a question, just put it in caps, please. I'm going to try really hard to look up. I'm going to try really hard to look up. So help me get get the attention so I can actually read it. All right, let's see. Yeah, I've got these all done. Maybe we'll kind of do it that way. Maybe just put more fabric in this one, because this one has. Oh, did I even go through show you what I did in this one? I've done some stuff on the pages. Let's put it back together again, just to give you a little bit of idea of what you might want to do. And you know, I don't know about you, but I try to think ahead what I'm going to do with my journal. I mean, I don't stick to all of my initial ideas, but I do try to kind of think ahead what I'm going to do and decide, well, do I want more paper? Do I want more fabric? And then you can make adjustments, you know, when you're deciding what kind of stuff you want to put in there. So in this one, I wanted a combination of the fabric and papers. And so I've just been playing around with that. It's not done yet, but like for instance, I like to put some of the fabric on here and some flaps. And then I had done some of the index cards, and I had done just a base coat with the jelly print. And then I came back with a few napkins. And then I figured this is a nice area. If you just like to glue, now you have an area to glue. If you like to journal, now you have a nice little surface where you can journal also. And then just a couple of pockets here and there to put a little something. I'm not a real pocket person in the journal. I like them in the front and the back of the journal. And that way I put little supplies in there or things that I want to use in my journal. And I've just put little pieces of fabric here and there, and then some papers that maybe I can use to glue stuff down at a other time. And I had this little scrap piece of doily, so I put a button on there, and then I figure a picture or writing or something could go on there, and then this just allows it to stay down and be covered up. There's some more napkin. And then this picture here has lots of windows. So I just thought of putting a curtain over the windows. And here's another one of those index cards. This one can flip up and down. Here's another one. Put some fabric on that one. And then some pictures here and there I put down just with masking tape so that they can be easily taken up if you want to position it somewhere else or glue it down or fussy cut it or whatever you want to do. It's all there ready to go. This is also a napkin. And this is some wallpaper. And then a few things that have been glued down with some blue. And here's a playing card. I just put that with some masking tape in case that needed to be used elsewhere. And here's one of the Cyanotype prints. And another one of those index cards. This is fabric. This is from a Japanese napkin, cloth napkin. And a lot of these papers you can't see, but I put that thick gesso on it also to give it a little stability. This I just did a little bit of stitching on one of the bark cloth pieces and then glued it down on another piece of fabric. And then on the back, I put the lace print that we did that day. And here's another one just with some masking tape. And this is just a little pocket here. This was the collage I made. I have a copy of this in the group that you guys can print out. Snow. And this just looked like a big snowflake to me. So I put that there, and you can put a picture right underneath there. And that's it for now. That's in here. So, all right. So that's, oops. So that's what we'll do. We will, I'm wondering if I should put, let me think this through. Probably I should put a bunch of pages together for the signatures so I can know. No, I don't have to do that. I can do that afterwards. Let's just get this started. So in case you guys can't stay too long, we'll just make this real simple and sew that up. So I think I'm going to have the gap. Let me get a pencil. I think I'll have at least an inch from either end. So that's an inch right there from the top and the bottom. You can do whatever, whatever it looks good to you, but I'm just going to do that. And I have to visualize and see, because this is kind of smaller, I may not have room to put the tabs here. There'd be very little room left here in the center if I don't cut it all the way through. But let's do it anyway. Let's be adventurous. As long as I leave an inch, that is, as long as I leave an inch there, I think we'll be okay. So this is, okay, so here's the center. And there's half, and there's half. Okay, so if I leave, I can make an opening from here to here and here to there, and that'll be fine. And that's more than enough for this size of the tab to go through. We can even make it smaller than that. All right, so I've made that decision. And so what I'll do, it may not be perfectly straight, and that's okay. Put this out here so I can see it. So from here to here, I'll draw a line. And then what I'm going to do is probably, let me draw it out so you guys can see it. I know it's hard with this white on white on white on white. Let's have it about. Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing is cutting that out. All right, so that's where the tabs are going to go through, is here. But before we cut it, we're going to sew it, because that'll help stabilize it before we do the cutting. And you can sew that with whatever you like. It just happened I was using this embroidery threads. So I think I'll just continue to do that like I did it on the other one. But you might want to do it, you know, depending if you're sticking with the blue. I like the blue with an accent of red. So even if you did that in red, that would look really cool. Now let me try and, ooh, I threaded on the first time. Can't believe it. And get my scissors. And I'm trying to remember if I did that double or a single. I think I did that a single. Now, if you know how to do, fancy stitching, by all means, do something fancy. I do not know how to do anything fancy. So, so you're not going to get nothing fancy out of me around there. That's for sure. No way, Jose. Okay, let me just put this through. So I can halfway see what I'm doing. And then you just stitch around it. And, you need, I don't use real sharp needles because I have a habit of stabbing myself. Really, like blood stabs. And plus this, when you sew through the gesso, it's gonna dull your needle a lot. So I don't even start with a real sharp one because it's gonna get dull pretty quick anyway. And then after you do all the manhandling on this, because you got the pencil mark, got your hands, I went back after I finished all this. I came back and kind of cleaned it up with a really light coat of gesso again. Because the the carbon off the pencil, it just kind of messes up all this pretty whiteness. Where is Popo? Go find her, Susan. Go find her, Susan. Go, go find her, Laura. She might be cooking supper. She might be listening, but can't talk. Oop, there goes the motorcycle. I don't know which days, but she's supposed to be going into work a day or two I don't remember if it was this week or next week. Physically going in as opposed to working remotely. All right, so you've got one done there. Okay, thanks, Laura. All right, so now we'll just do the same thing on this side. I've been working on next month's. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'll give you a sneak peek before we end tonight. I can't believe I haven't stabbed myself yet. Shouldn't have said anything. I mean, I do like red accent on this, but I don't like to be the contributor to the accent. Oh, okay. Thanks, Laura. All right, couple more stitches. I don't know if it's overkill, but I always put 2 knots on everything. All right, so that's all you do, and that's all I do. You can get fancier, you know, if you wish. Then I erase all this because it's harder to erase it after you've cut it. And use a better eraser than I have. I'm gonna go get my other one. It's erasing the paint instead of the letters, instead of the pen. Oh, look, see? That's why I had to go back and do the touch up with the gesso on my other one. All right, so then to get the cutting started, I fold this in half. and I literally just snip it. Now you can leave it just like that, or you can cut it away a little bit. I actually cut mine away a little bit, so I'll do that. You don't have to cut a lot, it's just a little bit, but that little bit gives room for your fabric. Especially the fabric I was using, it's all pretty thick. If you're just using just thin cotton, you may not find the necessity to have to, cut this back at all. But after you got your signatures together, you just try and push it through. And if those tabs don't, well, then you can just, you got that space, that lead way to go ahead and cut some of this off. So see, let me get, whoops, not enough glue. So you can see how much I cut away. It's not too much, not very straight either, but but you get the idea. I'll do the other side. Make sure you have it straight because you don't want it, all like this. And when you cut it, you're cutting past your sewing. Just make sure you got that at least. At least in the right direction. All right. And honestly, that's the hardest part of the whole journal. And it's not even hard, but just to let you know that the rest is just folding papers and sewing your signatures. That's pretty much it. So let's get some papers. Oh, let me see if you have any questions. Let me see. I gotta be good. Okay, no questions so far? All right, so let's get some of the stuff that was in the kit. We had some of these papers. Had some this. I'm grabbing here for my pile. Whoops. We had some scrapbook paper. Had a couple of those. In the batch. And then I'll get some of my prints that I've done. What else do I have here? Now this wasn't in the kit, but this was sent to me. This is paper that has what kind was it now? Wait a minute. I think it was jeans. She beated up all the jeans and made papers out of them. And this is the pulp that was left over, and it was put on this paper. I thought that was pretty cool. And this is also made from jeans. This is handmade paper. That'll look nice in there. And then some mixed media. Put some of that in there. And then some of that placemat. And we'll see how it goes. Oh, wallpaper. And then this is the print out from the what you call it I did. So let's start off with that. Let's see what else I got here. And we'll just go from there. And we'll fill in some of the blanks. Now, let's see if just folding these things in half they fit. Hey, couldn't have planned it better. Okay, so what is the length? And we'll just cut those all down to about, let's just do it to 6. Let's just do it to 6. Oh, I hear the birds out there. They're singing and singing and singing. The sun's starting to go down. Let me use this. It's smaller. And this is 6 inches, so it'll be perfect. Let me cut the top off. I know, I love that blue vellum. It's just so dreamy. And that's, I'm a real high-tech measurer. Can you tell? Are you putting the larger pieces of fabric in a... Yeah, I'm going to incorporate the other ones in there. I'm not, it'll probably be the covers. Or I'm not sure, the covers or maybe the center of the signature. Not sure yet. All right, I'm gonna have some scraps there to play with for gluing later. Oh, I know there's some people that their you know, their signatures have to be the same, their papers have to be the same. I like everything sticking out all over the place. The wonkier, the better. barking. I've watched people put their journals together, and I think they're gorgeous. And then what do? They go wonk, and they cut everything perfect, right? And I'm going, oh no, don't do that. It looks so pretty. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're making it all the same. Oh, that's perfect. And they tear these off. I love those. I love those in my journals, especially if they've been boiled. Then they're really super cool. I was revisiting one of the first ladies. I'm not sure it was Shannon Green or this lady. It was kind of maybe the same day I saw them each showing one of their junk journals, and I was sold. And that was Marianne Moss. Is that her name? I believe that's her last name. Moss? I think so. I don't know why I have a trouble with her name. And I was looking at one of her one of her pictures of her journals. I was looking at some yesterday and today. And I love her stuff. And none of her stuff lines up. I mean, none of her stuff lines up. And I love it. And it's funny how you may have looked at something, maybe when you were first starting. And like with anything else, sometimes it doesn't quite register. And then once you become a little more familiar with looks and terminologies and how they do things, it takes on a whole new meaning. Like she had this really cool looking journal, and I hadn't seen it in years, right? And now I went back and saw it. This was maybe a couple of months ago. I went back to go see her stuff again, because just looking at her stuff, I get kind of inspired. And what I didn't realize was that the journal I had looked at way back when that I really liked was made from a antique photo album. I didn't know what an antique photo album was, like kind of from the 1800s. I had never even seen one. And, and now I have altered them and everything myself and done my own little take on them. And then I just realized a couple of days ago, it was about a month ago, oh my goodness, that one of those very first ones I really loved, that's what it was. And I didn't know what I was looking at. But she didn't redo it to make it look authentic. She just made it all funky, It was really cool. It was just a hot mess. Thank you, Darla. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. What was the measurement? I already forgot. 5? What was it? What was it? Quick, quick, quick. Oh, never mind. I'm never going to use all of this, but this might be a pretty chunky one. I tend to overdo it sometimes. Oh, I should have done some of these staggered. See, it's getting carried away. And wow, I do have a lot of stuff here. You see how precise I am when I put my signatures together. Oops. This doesn't tear so good like paper. It has a mind of its own. All right, so now let's start. Whoops, need to cut that. So let's start 2 piles. So I'm only going to make 2 signatures. All right. Now, I may change that, but for now, you got to start somewhere. Whoops, it needs to go there. And then when you, for me anyway, then I go and I flip through it. And I don't know, I get a certain feel. Either I like the feel or I don't. And then I go from there. Because to me, the whole thing about a journal, more than the way it looks, I think it's the way it feels. I don't know if that's how you guys view your journals, but it can look pretty, but if it doesn't feel, you know, feel right in your hand, it doesn't matter how cute it looks. At least for me. put this one further in. I don't want it to feel like it's a mirror image of the other one. All right. Oh, this needs to go in here somewhere. All right. So these, for now, are our two signatures. Now, that could very easily go right there. Now, because when I did this, I wasn't sure if this was going to be my cover, so I left it long in case I want to do like a wraparound, but I decided not to use that as the cover. So I need to cut this down, and I want a little bit of that scallop down there showing. All right, so now I have a nice piece of that. It's already gessoed. We can use that for something. And then I may just leave that as a, you know what I mean? So let's see how this feels. Ooh, see the blues sticking out there going, look at me, look at me. All right, let's see. Okay. Okay, I like the way that feels. Feels good. See if I put this one in the front so I can see. Oh, see, I like how that looks too because it sticks out there. Ah. Now see, now I have to decide if I want the double whammy lace sticking out there, how that looks, or if I want to highlight the blue. See, that's going to be the dilemma now for me. Which way I want to go. I like them both. That's the problem. Usually one goes, yeah, yeah. But I kind of, I don't know. I like them both. I hate when that happens. See, I like how that just kind of extends out and makes the cover look bigger right away. Well, I guess it depends how I'm going to, well, what I could do is scoop that a little bit like that. So that could peek a little bit. The blue, little bit of the blue could be peeking. Okay. I think I need to have a drink and look at that. What do you guys think? Too many options. All right, so now remember, I still have to figure out, how I'm going to decorate the front too. There's that. And, it doesn't have to be decorated. Sometimes I like just white covers like that. I love the white look too. So I don't know if you can, yeah, you can. I think you can see how cool all of this looks with, after all the gesso's been on there. It's really kind of cool. So this gets Sarah's vote. Yay, Sarah! Wasn't it a gorgeous day today, Sarah? Oh, yeah, Sarah lives really close to me. If I hollered really, really loud, maybe she could hear me. I don't know. But it was gorgeous. Let's see. What do we have here? What else can I put? I think I got enough signatures in here, though, because once you start putting other stuff in there, especially when you start adding fabric and stuff. Let me see how many. I don't remember how many pages I had on in this signature. Okay, I only had 12. Let's see what we got here. No, just one more. We got 13, so it's good. Yay! My allergies weren't that bad today. Oh, a couple of days ago, I woke up with a really bad, like a sinus headache, and it lasted all day long. I think that was Monday. I told my husband, if you know what's good for you, honey, don't talk to me for a few hours. My head is splitting. Don't ask me nothing. If you can't find it, live without it. That's just the way it's going to be today. Live without it. Well, maybe we're going to vote for that one, huh? I think so. I like it. And then if I had some little, I don't know if I have any, like little small red roses. Wouldn't that look cool right there? Little tiny small ones. For some reason, I think I have some. Why do I think I have some? Let me go check real quick because it's driving me crazy what I'm thinking about. It might be the wrong color. It may not even be red at all. Well, I might be crazy, but I'm not crazy about this. I did remember I had some. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do this. It's just that this came to my mind. Let's see what they look like. Now, wouldn't that look cute? Oh, I think that looks cute. What words? What words are you writing down? So now the next thing to do is just sew the signatures together, which I can do that. I can do that. I might just use this blue. Usually I use a cotton linen type waxed cotton mitten, but you know, I don't have to do that. It doesn't always have to be the same. Oh, that's gonna be a mess. And when I do my signatures on small journals like this, I don't measure anything. I know that's kind of that irritates some people because they like exact measurements, but I don't work that way. Let's see, what do I have here? You know what? I think I will use maybe I will use my wax linen. I'm not sure. Let me think. Let me think. And I'm just going to clip these so they don't move all over the place. Oh, I forgot. I want that one to go down on the bottom. Never mind. I want that to hang. I want the little scallops to hang. I was already forgetting my own plan. That can happen sometimes. Okay. This is really floppy. This is very, very floppy. All right, so basically what I do, I don't measure, but I go in about 1 inch on these smaller journals like this. So I'll just poke in there. And I think I'm just going to sew that in the center. And then, oh, poke another hole. There. Helps if I can see what I'm doing. And then I'll just tie that off. Make sure I got that. Oops. I need the short one over here. I don't know why it's easier for me to tie the knot that way. Maybe it has to do with being right-handed, left-handed. I don't know. So we have that one's ready to go. And you guys still with me? Whoops, that's crooked. That was very crooked. Okay, now we're ready. Make sure you got enough thread. I have enough thread. Go down about an inch. Do the pokey hole. About an inch. Uh-oh. Where's that? It's right where the embroidery is, so I don't see the hole. Okay, there we go. I still don't see it. Uh-oh. It must be where I don't see it at all. That's where I thought I was poking. See, as soon as it goes, the stitch there is so wide, it doesn't leave a hole. And then I can't find the other hole. Uh-oh. We might be here a while. Gosh. Yay, I got it. How many tries? Whoa. Okay. It's harder to tie a knot with this embroidery floss because when you have the wax linen, it does all the work for you. We'll worry about cutting those later. Okay, so we got that done. Woohoo! So now the next thing is selecting our whatever we're going to use for our fabric for our tabs. So where's my pile of stuff for that? Okay, did I have any questions? Hi. Wait, oh, Pam's got to go change her channel. Okay, we'll wait for you. Now, what you're going to have to decide now is what you're going to be using to go through your tabs, because that will determine how big of a gap you need when you're making your tabs, because, you know, whatever you're putting through there, it's got to fit, right? So, So that would be the next thing you do before you actually make them. But you already have an example of how to, do it with, a stick or a dowel or whatever you want to put in there. I think I'll show how it looks if we just do it. If instead of something hard like that, we use a piece of fabric or ribbon or something to tie it off, because that will give yet a different look. So, so if you're going to put something thin, then it really doesn't matter how big, as long as, a piece of ribbon can fit through there, you're set to go. So they don't have to be like humongous. All right, so now let's pick our fabric. If you don't know what I was talking about, that's okay, because sometimes I don't know what I'm talking about and I'm the one saying it. But I will show examples and then we'll all be on the same page. So I'm thinking, I like this because that's so bright. Maybe we could do a tab with that fabric right there, maybe. Maybe. And then maybe this color down here. Or should we go with the softer colors? We could go with the softer colors. You guys get to vote. Are we going to go with the soft colors or the bright colors for our little tabs? Soft? Bright. Well, bright. Sarah, I hear one bright. Okay, we got 3 brights. That convinces me already. All right, let's move on. Now, you may want, to pretty yours up a little bit, but, I like all the frayed edges. I like all that. So, you might want to turn them under and sew them and make them kind of cleaner. But I just rip and sew, rip and glue. That's just what I do. So you could decide, how tidy you want yours. So what I'm going to do now, this is like for the ribbon. If you're going to do something like this, what you would do is you get whatever item you're going to use. If you were going to use something thicker, and allow for at least an inch to be on the actual cover, and then have plenty of room so that when you want to, you can take this out easily. So you would just measure it like that. So there would be plenty of room right here. And then like I did with these, after I glued it down on these tabs, then I sewed so that this wouldn't be just, bunching up over here somewhere. It'll stop right on the other side of your page. And I would just hand stitch it right here, and then we're going to glue that down like that. All right, so whatever you're going to use, measure it before you actually sew or glue this down. So because I'm going to be putting some fabric or some ribbon of some kind. I need very little of anything. So let's see what I'm going to do. So I'll give you a measurement of what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I'm going to cut for this to be 1.5 inches, which means I need 3 inches, right? Right. So that's all I need is 3 inches. And depending on the thickness of your stick, if you use a stick, it probably isn't too much more than that anyway. So we'll put that one, got that ready. And what was the other fabric? Where did the other one go? Did I lose it? I must have picked it up. And I don't see it. Oh, there it is. And then I'll just cut another one the same length. All right, so that one's set for that one. And then I just have to choose the fabrics for this one. This is already bright, so I don't want to get too bright with that. Make it kind of more on the dull side, I guess. So maybe these dull ones. Not dull, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Maybe. Yeah, why not? Why not? Do I have 3 inches? Just short of 3 inches, but that's okay. This one's a little longer than 3 inches. So we'll put those there. And so what I did is I'm glue happy. So I put some glue here. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put a little bead of glue here and glue that down. And then we're going to put a bead of glue here and glue that down. And then we'll hand stitch here to create that little channel for whatever it is we're going to use. Let me do the binding. Okay, so that's the next step. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on these to get this done. Now, so now what we have, the next step is we need to just make sure this is facing the right direction. I don't think I have any directional papers in here yet, so I think we're safe, whatever we do. So we'll line up our cover to see exactly where those openings are, so we make sure that we put our tab so it'll fit inside the holes that we have. Pretty basic, but you know, one time I forgot to do that and it was a little wonky. You can mark it, or you can just sit it there and put the glue down and, you know, go like that. Whatever's easier for you to do. I'll just set it there like that. I'll get my glue over here that I think I have enough in here of. I might have to go get another one. I got enough in here. All right, so let's put, I'm going to put it on here. This makes it less likely for me to go further than I need to go. And then I'm just going to put it right there. And then the other one. And then we'll just go back here, remembering how big you want to leave this gap. Always keep that in mind. I can bring this in a little bit because I'm going to do it with the fabric. And leave yourself room to sew. Put a stitch if that's what you want to do. I recommend you do that. And if you were going to be using a stick or something, I would just lay the stick in there. So I'm making sure that I leave the, you know, the right amount of room. All right. We'll glue the other two down, and then I'll come back and by hand, then I'll just put a stitch right across right there. And hey, we're on a roll, guys. So I got to remember, I want this to show down on the bottom, so I need to make sure I don't go too far down. I want it to like that. Oops, I hear my dogs barking. All righty. We're getting there. All right, so let me get some thread. And let me find my needle. Anybody know where I put my needle? Maybe I actually put it over here where it's supposed to go. That'll be a shocker. Yes, here it is. Yay! Oops. It's not threading very well. No, it keeps splitting. Stop it. Okay. It's being ornery. Okay, this is not working. It must not be the same needle I used before. I'll blame the needle. It can't be me. Oh no, I can't get it in there. I think it's the right needle. I was just lucky last time. You're reprimanding my ladies? You want a bunch of chatty Cathys? They're usually chatting. They must be working on their stuff. Or they fell asleep. All right, let's sew this right here. And we'll be ready to figure out what we're going to use for the binding. Yeah, these ladies are serious. They're not here to have fun. They're here to get something done. All right, I have to get this close to me so I can see what I'm doing, but I'm just basically going to sew by hand. Wow, no blood yet. I can't believe it. The trick is dull needle. Get a dull needle. Now I got to figure out if I want to use the white, the blue, or red for the binding. You ladies be thinking about that. You only have 3 options: white, blue, or red. Whoops. Uh-oh. All right, we got that one done. And we'll do the next signature. Hey, Jean. Right, Pam. The blood test. I charge extra for blood. I think a couple of you have gotten freebies, though. That's okay, Jean. Glad you could make it. Yeah, that's right. We could do like a mystery journal. Comes with DNA and it's an all-inclusive mystery kit. So how many votes did we get for any colors? Anybody saying any colors? Red? I see one red. We're not talking about blood now, right? No blood, please, please. I think I do have some red stuff I could use. I tore up a silky kind of, it's not silk, it's, you know, probably polyester, but it's red and shiny. It was a blouse I picked up for like 50 cents last year. Forgot I had it. All right. So is the consensus red? Is that what we're saying? Oops, that goes that way, huh? Right. I think that's what we're doing. Okay, I'll be right back. I'll go get something in the red family. Here's my red bag. Here, let me move stuff out of the way. Get ready to vote. And if I agree with you, I'll do it. Get my sticks out of the way. All right, so I have this. I mean, this is like red. I don't know what it's coming across as, but it's red. I got polka dots. I've got whatever this is. I got that. A little bit bigger. That's not red, that's pink. What's that doing in there? Man, I don't even use this hardly. How much? How come I have so many of these little ones? That's probably why, because I don't use it that often, so they're there. And I have this. Oh, I like this too. Let's see. I can already tell there's too many choices. Yeah, too shiny. That's too shiny. I like shiny, but that's too shiny. Too much going on. Oh my gosh. I didn't really think I had all that much red stuff. I guess I do. Oh my god. I don't have enough of that. Okay. Okay, the other stuff's too thick and I don't feel like cutting it. All right. So we've got solid, and then we have all these kind of sort of gingham. I guess that's what you would call it. Gingham stuff. That's all of. There's the gingham stuff. Okay, gingham, straight, polka dot, and solid. So you basically have 4 choices: solid, polka dot, stripe, or gingham. Go. Okay, Jean doesn't know what we're doing. She likes the solid. Sarah knows what we're doing, and she likes the solid. Oh, Jennifer likes the solid. Okay, so we're going solid so far. Solid red. Solid, solid, solid. Okay. We're going solid, people. I guess I should have just gone with the first one, right? You didn't need to see all the rest. I like this. Not for this necessarily, but I like this. It looks like the old-fashioned, what is that called? It's not tat. I always think of tatting. What is it I'm trying to think of? I know it's not tatting, but that's what keeps coming to my mind. But I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Aw, poor Annette. She's out there all by herself. Yeah, ticking. There you go. See, I always call it tatting. Ugh. Thank you, Brooke. Jersey probably fell asleep. She was here. Susan has some stuff going on. She's busy. So we're lone woofing it without him. Woof, woof. Poor Annette. She wanted the polka dot. We'll put it inside. We'll put some inside for sure. Okay, so now what I need to do, let's do one at a time. Let's do the first one first. Let's do the first one first. Why are we doing that? Because I said so. And then we just basically pull this through like that. And then I'll grab one of these. Now I probably won't be able to get that through there. I probably, oh boy, because it's a little thick. I'm gonna have to get a needle. I'm gonna have to get a needle and sew it through. Sew it through. Sew it through. I can do that. Oops. Kind of helps if I get a knot. Okay. And then it just depends, how much of a bow, you're gonna want, how much. I'll just leave the whole thing, that way we can go back and forth with it. So leave that whole thing right there. And then is that right? Wait a minute, what am I doing? Is there an up and down on this? And I can't remember. I don't think, oh yeah, there is. So let's make sure. I just flip it like that so that the weight of the other one's on the bottom instead of the weight laying on top of me trying to pull this through. But at this point, really double check if you have, things that are going up and down, right? It needs to have a right side up so that you don't mess up. It's real easy. Now let's see if you can get through without sewing something. Oops. All right. Now you can do this any number of ways. You can just get the one that's going through the loop on one end and tying that up and make a knot there and make a separate knot with this one here, or you can grab them both and tie them together. If you want two bows, you want one bow, whatever it is that you want aesthetically. And you're binding. Anyone that says, I don't know how to bind, how can I bind something? This is like so simple. It's like, hello. So I'll do them separate just so we can have a lot of bows right now. But There she is. Isn't she cute? And then she'd really look really sissified if we put the little red roses on there. I don't know if we're getting too sissy. You know, if you did this with all white paper inside, this would be a really cute guest book. You know, like for a wedding or a baby shower or something like that. It's soft and it's, you know, because you got all the fabrics. And if you really want to go crazy, you could just gesso all the fabric and let the people write on the fabric. Wouldn't that be a lovely gift to give somebody for like a shower or a reception or something like that? And so now all you have to do is start, you know, decorating your inside. And there you go. So basically, what time is it? So basically, we put the entire journal together in under 2 hours. Have you ever put a whole journal together, binding everything, cover, the whole kit and caboodle in that short of a time? All right. Let me put this one back together again. It's all discombobulated. And so you can basically put this, you know, create the, where to go, with anything. You can use the same system and put anything through there. You can, you know, if you're going to make something a little more rugged, you could put real thin strips of leather to tie this up with. You could use like rope if you're going, like if you had like it was all burlap or muslin or something, you could go ahead and put the twine or rope back there. All right, so let me look up and see if there's any questions I need to answer. Great, fantastic. I'm glad you're excited to get something going. This is a little bright. It's a little bright. But see, it's because our eye's just going there. Maybe once we put something on there, let's see, where is part of the, ooh, let's see. Like this blue would look really pretty right there. And then I think that would look pretty there. What do you guys think? Or a thinner strip and put it right there. Because I think that red, for my eye anyway, that red is excuse me, is a really stark, oh gosh, well, stark contrast. And if we put something to break it up, the contrast, at least for my eye, isn't as great. And then And then to balance it out a little bit, maybe. Does that help? Let's see what else might look cute there. What else is in these packages? We got cute stuff in here. I think these are my leftover scraps. Yeah, these are my leftovers from the other one. We could put this kind of blue on there. More to go with the, you know, the cyanotype color. Put some of that on there. Put an iris. This is pretty too. This is really delicate. This has a nice, where's the crane? There's a crane on here somewhere. There he is. If I cut out the crane and put him there with some little leaves, just right in that strip, that might look cute. It's the red. Let's see. Oh, it's got blue, but it's got too much purple in there. Too much purple for that. We got this birdie. Can put here somehow. Anyway, yeah, I think if we touch base there with some blue, I think it will look a lot more balanced. It will look softer. I'm looking for it. It's looking too harsh, that red against the white, but that blue, for me, in my eye, it tones it down. What do you guys think? Could cut this strip also out. That would look nice there too. Uh-oh. Okay, we got one crane, two cranes. One iris. Uh-oh, another iris. Another crane. You better get your votes in. If you put a bird, I'll say the bird. Yeah, I put a bird. There was a crane. We got a bird. We got a blue bird. Mr. Crane. And there's another bird here, but I'm not crazy about that bird. Doesn't look enough like a bird. Oh, the one facing the other way I like better. I'm not crazy about this one down here. But I do like the crane. Why? You know why. It has an Asian feel to it. And you know me. If it has even like a little inkling of Asian, bing, 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 winner. The dark blue one. Yeah, this one. I think that was the second one. I think. Okay, so we've got a couple of birds, a couple of irises, and a few others, whatever they meant by other. Okay, so I think we've kind of pinned it down to maybe these three. I think I don't want to give you guys too many options, because I know when I give myself too many options, I just can't make a decision, especially if I like them all. So these are in here. I think I have another. I have another one where I can get a full piece. Doesn't matter. It looks good overlapped anyway if we choose that one. And then we have this one, and I think I have another full napkin that has the irises. So here we go, people. ABC. No, we're not selling nothing. ABC. Crane. The darker one or the iris. ABC. Come on, help me out while I'm drinking my tea. I need a break to drink. And someone there be counting. I'm not going to count. I need an official counter. Oh dear. I don't see like leaning. I don't see them leaning any one direction. Oh dear. Okay, I'll do it. Where did we start? We start. Okay. B. We have 1 iris, 2, 3. Oh, where'd I go? B, iris, C, C. 1, 2, 3, 4. B. If I had to choose, yes, you have to choose. A, B. Oh, B. Sorry. Either way, I think the iris is winning. Holy moly. No more choices? No more guesses? I gotta go see if I have another one of these. I'm saying I do. Maybe I hope I do. Let me look here in these my package. In my package. And then great. If I don't have another one, these two are tied. That's not going to help me any. All right, let me look. It's probably over. Where would it be? Maybe I put them away already with all of my other napkins. Let me check. Okay. I got one. All righty. Oops. Uh-oh. Runaway napkin. And this is the one that has a lot of perforation and it's hard to separate. Oh, I got it, I think. You know, some of those napkins where they have it really embossed around the edges, man, sometimes they're really hard to pull apart. All right, so the design that will fit. Maybe I need to undo these to lay that flat. Okay. So let's see, I guess we'll put this one, huh? The way it can butt up around to the end. I'm guessing we'll try it. We'll see. We'll lay it there and see what it looks like. Okay. You still like it? I need to get that harsh edge off. Put one at the bottom, one at the bottom. Okay, that's a good idea. Something like that. What do you think? Should it go on the outer one? Because that's a different page now. Go on there to like extend the whole page out bigger, or bring it in. Your choice. Dealer's choice. Hey, Pam. We have decisions to make. Outer, outer, outer. Okie dokie. Outer it is. That'll go there. All right. So all I need to do is glue these puppies down. And ouch, ouch, my leg. Put this on something. I don't want to get too much on there. Because this gesso is probably going to suck up a lot of this glue. Let's see how this works first. Rosemary. We'll just put 2 buds instead of 3. Or we won't put them on the outer. We'll put them in the inner. Insies. The insies and the outies. Or we can put this up here. No, it looks better on the bottom, on top. Whoa. Add some weight. What I could do is get some more of the green part and bring the green part all the way down, and then put those there to give some weight to it. Because putting these on top, it's not balanced right. It's kind of top heavy. We'll see. Let me get this one on here. Oh, there goes my dog howling. Must be a fire engine coming. Ah, no, 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 no. It's going to stick to my finger. Okay. All right, so that part's done. The roses look better grouped together. Grouped together where? You mean like in a little bunch? Where'd my other one go? Oh, there he is. Is that what you mean? Oh, okay. But with the small iris still here, and then I'll bring the I'll just cut some and see how it looks before we glue it down. Yes, no, maybe. We didn't sample just the roses with the iris on the left. We can try that too. I was just trying to bring some blue over to this side. Ooh, it's almost dry. Oops. Can't breathe. Everything flies. Oh. What do you guys think? Or, we could always, let's see again. Let's see what this ends up looking like over here. And still leave the red over here. Hi, Kim. Another small blue to the left. You mean here? Well, and that I'm starting to agree with you in that. It was a good idea at some point, and then at some point, it didn't seem like that great of an idea. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not a frou-frou person. This is like so frou-frou. It's like giving me a toothache. But yeah, when they were just by themselves, it was kind of okay. But I needed the blue. I mean, this is a cyanotype journal, and all we had was red and white. And so we had to have blue. So we brought in the blue. And once we brought in the blue, then the balance of the little roses kind of got lost. But I'd rather have the blue than the roses. If I had to give something up, I'd give up the roses before I give up the blue. And I think the red, I mean, I'll leave the red, but it is really, really bright. I don't know how bright it looks to you guys, but it's really bright. So yeah, I don't think we need the roses anymore. I'm making an executive decision. The roses are history. We can always put them on a little page inside somewhere. I mean, they can still be in here somewhere, because they're cute. But they're not getting top billing on this movie. They're just going to be a bit player. Sorry. Sorry, roses. Okay, so now do we want to leave it now just super plain, just like that, which does not hurt my feelings at all. It just draws a focal point to here. And real life, you're going to focus in on all this work, on the actual fabric itself. I don't know if you can see that there, but it looks really cool with all of the gesso on it. Um, and this isn't bad either. It doesn't hurt. This doesn't hurt my feelings either way, really. The air just went on, so it's starting to fly all over. No, I'm not going for patriotic. And I don't want it to look like a flag. Maybe we're going to ditch the red altogether and bring in white lace. Okay. Yeah, it does kind of look like that a little bit, doesn't it? Blue, silver, oh, we're getting ditch the red. Oh, I like you people because I'm getting there too. Let me go see what I have. Notice how we're slowly getting rid of all the red. What colors does this show up on the camera? This is a pretty color. I'm still on the hunt. I don't have any organza, but I have some really nice just white linen that I can cut some strips with. Let me see here. Whoa. Oh, I haven't glued that down yet. I really don't want to go green because that's not my whoops. The colors that I run through this is basically my accent color is red and I focus on the blue. So I don't want to bring another real focal because I got enough green going on already. I don't want to bring in a different focal color if I can help it. Where's that? Or forget the whole color bit. Tie it up with that. I'll put one of each. Let me see what else I have. I have some white sari, and what else do I have? I have this really soft blue that I can make some strips out of. So we got the whites, we got this blue, we have the other blue. I can see we're going down the road back to blue and white, which is probably what we should have stuck with in the first place. What did Keisha say? Maybe like the outside edges. What does that mean? Like the white? I don't know what that means either. I don't have a good translator. This is white. This is white. Well, there's a little bit of blue there, but this is white. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to change any color on the cover. I got enough color as it is. That's why I put this here. This has a little bit of hint of the blue on there. And on this edge right here, it's got the blue. Because I had I had blue linens, but I wanted white on the cover, just like this one is. That's kind of like the theme I was going with. White covers. Whoops. Because they're supposed to look like cousins. They're supposed to look related. The sari looks dingy. Well, probably is. But it probably didn't. In its early life, it probably wasn't really white. It was probably a different color. And it's bleached out. It does have some of this kind of weird blue stuff in it. Maybe it used to be a light blue. Who knows? There's a couple of pieces that aren't dingy. Those aren't dingy. There's enough that's not dingy that we can use if we go with that. But I see that, yeah, half of it is very dingy. So Can I ink the sari ribbon with blue? Probably. Um, do I have blue ink? I have my indigo stuff, but I don't think I have any mixed right now. And just regular old, like alcohol inks kind of ink. Do I have blue? Um, I might have blue. I don't know. Well, sometimes when I get to this stage, I have to walk away from it. And then I come back with a fresh eye and boom, 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 I make my decision real fast. So maybe that's where I'm at with this. I need to step away. And then bing, bing. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. That's what I need to do. Yeah, let me put these away, and then I will get. What time is it? Yeah, I'll give you guys your sneak peek for July, so you can start gathering your own stuff too to add to it. If you get the kit, and if you don't get the kit, you can start gathering your stuff for your own kit to make your own kit. You might have all the goodies. You never know. So let me gather my mess so I know where everything is to put it back together. That goes there. That goes there. And, they're not done. So don't go, what about this? And where's that? And blah, 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 blah. They're not done. Let me get this over here. And I might have to give you a history lesson. What a mess. Anytime I do something, I have so much junk. It's unbelievable. Whoa, whoa. Knocking things over. Okay. Well, some of you may know that for a period of time, I was working with Seven Gypsies. If you don't know, well, now you know. So up at the warehouse, they had a lot of old stuff they used to sell and blah, blah, blah. So they had a section where you could go rummage through all the stuff to get like inspiration for other stuff. that they were going to be creating. Well, they had these. Some of you may be familiar with these. You know, like right now it's real popular, a resurgence of the folios, right? Well, Seven Gypsies did those like, you know, I don't know, 15 years ago. And this is what they look like. And I think then later on, I think what's his face, Timmy, you know, he did his version. And this is whoops. And this is pretty much how they start off as. All right. So I was looking through all my stuff that I have, and I came across this. And I thought, okay, well, people are making stuff, you know, that looks similar to this. Why don't we make something, you know, similar to this? We've got the stuff. So I started playing around with it, and I broke one of these down, and you can see it's just broken down, and created a pattern based on this. All right. Okay, so then on top of that, I had some craft craft text, that is called. Some of you might be familiar with that. It's like a hybrid paper / fabric, and some of you have probably worked with it, and maybe it's something new to some of you. And I had some of that, and I wanted to play around with that. So I got a piece of it, and you know, I stained it, and I forget what all I did to it. I don't think I boiled it, but I forget. I got to double check my notes. And so I made anyway, I'll just show you. Oh, before I show you what it is, our theme, a few people, let me backtrack. A few people last month, I guess it was, we were talking about what we were going to do for July. Some people were talking about medieval times. All right. Well, to me, there's nothing more, you know, depressing than the medieval times. So I thought, well, I don't know, you know, what could we do for that, you know, isn't gross and everything else. So I decided to do a little research on that time period, and I was very pleasantly surprised to learn or relearn, because once I started reading, I go, oh, yeah, I knew that, but I completely forgot that. So the medieval times basically runs from its inception to its disappearance. It's a long time. It's like 10 centuries. It's like from the 5th to the 15th. But somewhere like around the 8th century, 9th century, which was kind of sort of in the middle of what you consider to be the medieval times, they was a time of enlightenment. And then like in the 7th to the 8th, then in the 8th, they considered it the Renaissance. And the Renaissance was kind of going parallel during the period of the medieval. They were, you know, in conflict with one another, you know, socially and economically and politically and artistic and everything. It was, you know, a battle. And then by the end of the 15th century, all of the madness of the previous 10 centuries, you know, were kind of dissipated. So anyway, so during that one period, during like starting in the 8th century, it was a beautiful time. It was called the time of enlightenment. And that's when, you know, the artists and the astronomers and the writers and all kinds of cool stuff was happening. So I thought, oh, okay, I can relate to that. I like that. And so I thought we're going to do, it's going to be a very broad spectrum in time, because some of you like the, you know, the knights and the beheadings and the, you know, the witch hunts, and, you know, maybe that's your thing because you like darker stuff, which I do not like. You want to highlight the Inquisition or something, I don't know. And then others would be more toward the Renaissance period. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. And so if you have any of that stuff or you want to look for that kind of stuff or whatever, now's the time to go on the hunt. So anyway, so now based on this folio I showed you, and here's some of the printouts, some stuff I found. These are some of my leftovers. Those are some of the, just to give you an idea, this is the time period we're talking about. All right, so I won't get into that quite yet. All right, all right, so, oh, and then during that period of time, there was a lot of map making that was going on, and all those beautiful maps that we just kind of go goo goo gaga over looking at just pictures of them. That's that period too. All right, just to give you a reference to the time period. I personally like all the architecture of that time because before the fifth century, they made those beautiful arches and the big giant buildings and beautiful stuff. And in the fifth century, they said no, you can't do that no more. The creativity was stifled, and they didn't do any of that stuff. So then in the 8th century again, there was a revitalization of that architecture, and that's the period I really, really like. I just learned I like the 8th century because of the architecture and stuff like that. Okay, so what I did, let me move this over. What I did is I got cardboard that represented the front of that folio, all right? And the back is also cardboard. And these are some of the pictures I found of some of the architectural drawings during the 8th and the 9th century. And that comes from that period too. All right, so it's not done, so it's kind of sort of falling apart. So then this opens up like that, and this is that craft text I'm talking about. This stuff, if you have not worked with it, it is as strong as leather, but it is paper. But you can wash it, you can stain it, you can boil it, you can iron it, you can emboss it, you can do whatever you want to it. So this I try to replicate, the leather look. All right, so that's what that is. And then I made, okay, there's another piece that I really liked that I found. And so what I made was a small little journal. And these are paintings from the Renaissance period. And then I just have some maps and, pictures from the Renaissance and stuff, and some more architecture. So it's just a small little, I say small, but it's got quite a few pages in there. So that's that. And that will be inside, this folio. And then this is another journal that will sit inside of here, and I'm going to make some kind of contraption that holds everything down and in place. And oh, and another thing is the study of plants. And one of the first books that they found published were sketches and writings of ferns. And so that was like a really big deal during that period of time. Also was very botanical stuff. So I love that too. So I found enough things to like. So like, okay, it's not all the doom and gloom that I thought it was. Well, I'm sure it was, but I just tried to focus on the good parts. Like that. And what's in here? Oh, nothing's in there. That was just another little thing I put together. So this is kind of sort of basically what we're going to be making. And here's another one that I made. And on this one, I made this little gizmo. that can be put. I'm not sure if I'm going to permanently attach it or if it's going to be removable. You know, each person could decide what they want to do with theirs, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with mine. And then that holds, you know, different stuff that if you're going to work in your journal, you know, you put different things in there. And then again, for this one, I just made another small little journal that has the architectural elements and stuff, and a lot of the sketches and writings. Oh, an architect. You know, same thing as the other one. They're different ones, but they represent the same kind of stuff. And then this larger one, and then focusing on the pleasantries. So I guess you got kind of sort of the general idea of where I'm going to go with this. Yes, no, maybe. And like I say, they're not done. I don't, you know, the closures aren't complete. But it gives you kind of, you know, a place. Oops. If you're going to go on the hunt. Oh, this is an extra one. I'm working on a third one. And these are the ones that'll go inside that third one. I think I want to do her. I think she's so cool looking. Or her. I'm not sure which one. And anyway, so oops. That is the plan for July. Just so you know. Michelle Ward at Green Pepper Press has some great stuff. Ooh, let me write that name down. Boys and girls, write that name down. Michelle Ward. Michelle Ward. Green Pepper. Ooh. Makes me think of curry. Okay, so I got her name. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. So what you'll be getting is I went and bought a whole bunch of that craft tech, and we'll have some printouts that I'll be providing, and some other goodies yet to be disclosed. And anyway, I think it'll be fun. I think it will be fun as soon as I figure out what I'm doing. But I just got started on it, and I just go, oh. And I told myself, calm down, Rosemary. You still have to do the cyanotype with the troops, you know. Calm down. But see, that's kind of like the trick bag I'm in, you know, because I have to like do it at the beginning of the month so that my idea is complete and the kit is put together for the end of the month, right? For the next month. So I'm like a month behind you guys. So while you're just barely getting started on yours, I'm getting all ramped up, excited for the next one, you know? And trying to like, oh, how is this going to work? Oh gosh. So anyway, it's an interesting period of time. Do some reading on it. I think, you know, if you're like me, that you basically forgot all that period of history. I mean, I had an kind of an overview of it. But once it was broken down to detail, it was really quite interesting. You know, I mean, that's when the printing press was developed. Oh, let me backtrack. I originally was going to do something totally different. I mean, I was still going to do the time period, but the journal I was going to make was really unique. I think I still will make one or two maybe to sell them, but we're not having a tutorial. Yuck, yuck, no way. Um, I started doing it because years ago, before I was into any journal making, I had a friend that would go to Renaissance fairs and they had asked me to make this certain thing because they knew I sewed. So I made this book for them. I totally forgot about it. I mean, sometimes things you just don't remember because I guess to you it wasn't significant. So when I was doing research of like, okay, what can we do? What can we make for this period? Pops up a picture of a book almost identical to the one I made because, I copied someone else's. And I go, oh my goodness, wouldn't that be cool to make that? Well, I started making that and took forever. It was hard to explain. They got drying time. It was not working. And I was so discouraged. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to have to think of another theme because this is not going to work. And I was cleaning up stuff, and that's when I came across this. And then something in my mind just went bing, bang, boom, yada, yada, yada. And then, I came up with this. But I had a whole other idea completely than this. So anyway, so I'll keep that for a surprise. I'll make that. I'll make that also just to show you guys. But yeah. So that's that. No, I'm not showing you. No, I'll show it to you, but not now. Because I just halfway through, I just dropped it. I said, no, I can't do this. It could be a paid class. It could be a workshop. But there's no way, under the format that I'm doing right now, could it be done. So I said, okay, forget that. And that's when I went searching for, plan B. Yeah, I'll show you guys, but not now. Yeah. You want everything from me. You're sucking me dry. Okay. Yeah, teaser. There you go. Yep. Teaser. So, any questions? Besides, can you show me what you're making? No. Any other questions? Oh, and the next one that I'm making, because I'm going to have one more. I'm going to do that one. It's going to be more cloth. I'm going to do it with some tapestry, because another thing was there was a lot of books that were covered with different types of tapestries. So that's going to be, Lucy, be quiet. You better delete that, what you just said. Now everybody's going to run out and go, what's that? What's that? Delete that or I will, Lucy. There's too many smart people in the room. Oh my goodness. Okay, anyway, so having said that, I feel like I have such power. Oh my gosh. I should have known. Lucy knows everything. She's Miss Artsy. She knows it all. She could teach us a thing or two. I wish she would. Anyway, so I guess that's it, ladies, unless you have any other kind of questions. Well, I made it like I said, this was like, oh, I'm not exaggerating, probably 15 years ago. I did not know what I was doing, but I'm kind of sort of the person, if I don't know how to do it, that really makes me want to do it. I think I'm the type that wants to do everything at least once. I may not do it again, but I want to at least say I tried to do that. Even if I fail at it, You know, at least, oh yeah, I tried that once. You did? Yeah, it looked like, you know, crap, but I tried it, you know. But I must say the one I made looked pretty good. Yeah, it looked pretty good. I mean, I made one for her and one for him, and they wore it to the Renaissance Fair, and they got all kinds of compliments. So I thought, well, and of course, there was no other reason for me to ever make another one until now, 15 years later. Um, yeah, I think maybe that's another reason why I didn't like that time period, because even when you go to the Renaissance fairs, I won't even go to the Renaissance fairs because they focus on all the what I call gross, gruesome, depressing stuff. And I go, I don't think this is fun. So, oh, I know Lucy does. I know. Do I have a picture of it? A picture of what? A picture of the one that I made 15 years ago? If that's your question, no, I do not. I wasn't really into taking pictures of my stuff. Anyway, you'll appreciate this, Lucy. I'll show you what came in the mail today. I don't know what I'm doing again, but I'm gonna do it. Oh, and I'm still working on my on my rest paste. It's coming along nicely. Thank you for asking. Look at this. Lucy will understand. Nice, right, Lucy? Nice. Hi, Lucy. Lucy. Okay, that's all I have to say. Lucy understands the language. Yep. Yeah. Hey, Kathleen. Oh, well, let me. Did you see the second batch? The second one I did? I don't remember what I showed you guys. I've done several. No, I think I showed you guys. Let me go get it. Okay, this was one technique I tried, and it wasn't what I was looking for. I mean, it's still kind of cool. And this is a die. Not, well, no. It's a metal. It's a metal. Anyway, never mind. It's not like, you know, like Ritz dye or any kind of dye. It's not what this is. This is with other kinds of stuff. Anyway, I tried this, and it obviously worked, but it wasn't what I was looking for. Okay, so I had to move on. And then I tried another concoction because I was trying to go for a real rest paste. So then I did another concoction, and it was looking really cool. And I made the mistake of washing it before I should have. But that's how you learn. I did it too quickly. I was afraid that the stuff I was using was going to like eat through the fabric, which was kind of stupid because this is a thick canvas. But I was just getting, kind of excited because what I was seeing was really, really a rich color. And I thought it was literally going to eat through the fabric. So I took it outside and hosed it down. And, it didn't come out as dark as I would have liked. But it's still cool. You could still, do some stitching around it and make it really cool, whatever. So then I did it again and I did not wash it. I just let it dry on its own. And look what happened. And after it was dry, then I did wash it, to stop, and I put it, to stop the action. And so this is washed and everything and set. And this is my rest. This is rest. So, um, yeah. So I'm really happy about it. Now I'm trying to, I was trying to see the sustainability of it once it's already mixed. So I mixed it up. Well, I had some left over and I left it in an open plastic glass and left it there. And I think that was either Friday or Saturday. And up until yesterday, it was still soft, but the moisture was leaving it. And then by today, on the side of the glass was like that real thin film of any kind of stuff you work with. And so, but it let me know that if it had been in a closed container, that I think, it would have a good enough little shelf life. And doesn't get hard. I was afraid that it would get hard or it would start to, I don't know what I thought. But I left it open on purpose to see if it would dry out, and it didn't dry out. So that means if I had a lid on it, it really wouldn't dry out. So pretty cool. So anyway, that's the latest on that, which I was pleased with. And this is done with a stencil. I put my paste through the stencil. And then I tried to do it with a stamp, but the consistency, I'm not sure quite what I need to do, but I need to do something different. And it wouldn't pick it. You know how when your stamp, it's really, really super thin, and so it wasn't making good contact with all those little thin places. I did with a small little brush. I just put my initials, so you can write with it. You could do that, but I still need to work on how I can use a stamp, and that's where I'm at right now. You put a gold. Oh, why would you want to do that to gold? If it's real gold, it shouldn't do anything. I don't think you can make it do anything if it's gold. Yeah, get a torch. That's about the only way. And then who knows, it may not. Oh, just gold colored. Oh, maybe you just didn't leave it long enough. How long did you leave it in there? Oh, yeah, it might be brass. Several days. Oh, okay. Well, next. After several days, if it didn't do something, it's not going to. No, I'm not telling Timmy nothing. Didn't the stuff stick to the stamp? I guess it just well, it stuck that much. That's how much it stuck. I just the consistency wasn't right. Um, yeah, it just there was something wrong with the consistency. So anyway, but at least I was able to do the stencil. If I wanted to, I could write with it. Now I just have to figure out what I need to do for working with the stamp. Try using some embossing ink or glister. Oh yeah, I'll do that. Good idea. I have the glycerin. Um, I don't think I have any regular old embossing ink, but I have the glycerin. I'll do that. Very good. See, I just need to talk to you ladies. Y'all have so much good advice. All righty. What else? What else? Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's what I've heard, and it's the same thing. That's what I that's what I worked into that's what I worked into this to make it a little more pliable because I got the thicker one. There's different thicknesses of this, and I usually get the one that's a little bit thinner, but I wanted this to be substantial, because it's going to get a lot of hopefully wear and tear if you're going to use it a lot. And when I used the other thickness, when I put the glycerin, it just really, really felt like leather. This one does too, but it took a little bit more work. A little more work was involved, but it still all worked out just fine. Oh, I bet, Kathleen, there is so much yummy stuff. Oh, you have that liver. Oh, that stuff. Really. Do it outside, Darla. That stuff is strong. I have well, I don't know if it'll work on that. Let me see. This stuff. No, this is for soldering. And this is for copper. This will turn everything black. Dark, at the very least. You want it old and dark? Yeah. Well, it's kind of strange. Yeah, I've used that on some copper that I had. I was testing some copper, and I also had some metal flashing, and it darkened it really nice. I went to Home Depot to get some copper flashing, and they don't even sell it anymore. I asked them why not, and they said because the price had gone up so high. Well, I mean, if people want to use it, they'll buy it. Especially in these older, like in the historical district, they make you use the copper flashing so that it, patinas. So I guess you have to go online or something. But anyway, I found some of the thin one. So I got that. Okay, so is school done? Yeah, it was. I think it's 4-inch, which for flashing, you need more than 4 inches, especially around a chimney. Um, but anyway, I got 4-inch by 10 feet. That was the shortest length I could get. 4 inches by 10 feet. And that was, I think it was like $45. And that, it's the gauge for flashing. I forget what that is. It's 20, 20 something, 24, 26, something like that. Jennifer's getting excited. She loves her liver and sulfur. Good night, Angie. Yeah, it used to be. They used to be, kind of comparable. Now, no way. It's just all gotten crazy. All right, ladies, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll be um finishing up the Cyanotype journal, and maybe at some point we'll get together again and maybe do some of the stuff in the interior of the cyanotype and see what we can do with that. And I mean, in the back scenes, I'll be putting all this together. Having fun, fun, fun. You got to get started, Jennifer. You got to get your medal. You got to get your medal going. Oh, no, I haven't seen that, Sandra. Oh, well. Well, if, I hope she doesn't owe anybody any money and they come after me. That's all I can say. All right, ladies. Thanks again for keeping me company. And we'll see you all soon somewhere, I'm sure. Good night.